Recently, while working with a client of mine, I'm tutoring him in SAT math, but he has a much better SAT verbal score than I did when I was his age. And when I was looking over his verbal stuff, it made me realize that we could use some invention to our language, and not just to English in particular, but I think this is common to most languages around the world, which is it's very difficult to make a long story. It's very difficult to make long stories short without leading to potential misunderstandings. Let me give you a few examples of all of this. A few years ago, I had gone home to see my family, and my mom was trying to shop for clothing for me. At the time, I was stressed out because I was in between jobs. That's why I had time to go home in the first place. And I was stressed out, and I was gaining a lot of weight as a result. And my mom was buying me medium-sized clothing instead of small size. And I worried that if my clothes were loose, it might encourage me to gain more weight. But in a hurry, I explained, let's go return this clothes. And my mom says, why? And I said, it's going to make me fat. And I didn't explain the in-between steps leading from A to B. You know, if my clothes are loose, it might encourage me to eat more, and then I might gain weight. Because I was in a hurry to get it out of there. Well, obviously we were speaking in Chinese, so I think this is common amongst other languages as well. Oh, and this is a misunderstanding that happens a lot every time I try to make a long story short. It leads to at least some form of misunderstanding. Another time I had gone home to my family, and I didn't want to go to my room in the basement. And the reason I didn't want to go there is because I collect books, and all my books are down there. I have a lot of personal belongings. They're not necessarily valuables, but sentimental stuff. And I always have a feeling that something's missing every time I go to my room, and I was just about to go to a big event later that day, and I didn't want to cause any anxiety for myself before the event. And my mom was trying to get me to go to my room to do something, and I said, it's going to give me anxiety. Let's not do that. How about tomorrow after this event? I forgot what the event was, but some sort of a social event, obviously. And I said, well, let's do it tomorrow because I don't want to have anxiety. And my mom just assumed that the anxiety was that she thought that I disliked their home or something. I thought their home was dirty. It wasn't. It was just a personal matter. I had a car accident when I was working on my PhD. This was 7 years ago. And while I was exchanging information with the other driver, I said something that led him to get really panicky. What had happened was it was during the middle of a snowstorm, and I ran off the road. And I was calling AAA waiting to get my car towed out of the ditch when somebody else ran off the road and rear-ended my car. And here's the thing. I had a bunch of fluorescent light bulbs containing mercury in my trunk, and I got worried that they would get broken, so I stepped out of my car and walked as far upwind as I could. I said, let's come here and exchange the information. I didn't say what was in my trunk, though. I said I had chemicals in there. I didn't say mercury light bulbs because I didn't want I knew most people could relate to what chemicals are. Not everybody knows what mercury is. Not everybody knows what a fluorescent light bulb is, and so I kind of just abbreviated what I wanted to say. And so we exchanged insurance information, and we called the police, and when the police came, this guy panicked and went up to the police officers. Hey, this guy has chemicals in his car. And the police officer asked me what's going on. And now I had more time to explain to him what happened. And he asked if he could search my trunk, and I let him do that. And he reassured me none of the light bulbs are broken, so that was good. But you could see how trying to abbreviate and make a long story short often has the opposite effect. And this is something I wish somebody could fix with our language system. Thanks for watching.